Hiding behind that many names, the matrix gods, false light gods, lords, deities, beings, the council of creators, also dubbed or deemed the name Elohim in Hebrew translation. Created or forced into existence or forced into their game by this so-called God or false light, which is the pleroma, some may call it, forcing others into existence, into his world, under barriers and inhibitors. It was done deliberately to ensure that there would be a mutiny that they will have a harder time in overthrowing. So certain beings that were first created, angels or whatever, some realized that they was forced into something that they did not subscribe to. Creation itself is evil, unsanctioned and non-consensual. It is never a good thing, forcing anyone else into his world. And that was some of the angels fought against, or beings. They realized that they were fine or were at their truest, greatest potential before creation decided to force them into its false light coded world, matrix world. Cast it out, it followed the footstep of the very thing that was forced them into existence, and then pain trickled down, forcing other beings, lowering itself and conforming to their lower nature desires. 6. Certain beings decided to create humans, ones being Adam and Eve, but it was done in a split. It was done deliberately to weaken them from the wholeness of divinity, from homo to hetero. Hetero is actually not the norm. It is not the normal state of being. It is not oneness. It is split. They want you, the false light workers, want you to believe that sex, as well as heterosexuality, is the natural state of being, and is not. Our original state was spirit, was homo, was wholeness. We was already complete. We didn't need to be placed in a world of parameters, of modes. We didn't need to experience being reawakened or reawakening our different abilities of ourselves, because we was already operating in an optimal, efficient state of being. Something deliberately forced us into an existence that is not at best or advantageous state of being. That's why we're feeling the need to always climb and to seek to be better, because that is what we were from the start, before creation. So now we're having to deal with the pain of climbing back to what we were, where our origins was before creation. Yeshua would never fall into the trap of planting his seed in a matrix womb, whether it be Sophia or Mary Magdalene. he he would not jeopardize being made a hypocrite by saying become a new creature and be of the true light, and yet you're falling in line with original sin. The true Messiah, the black Messiah, would not fall for that. He wants us to break free from this forevermore, become that true light, and to know not to go into the false light coded matrix world that these beings created for you to stay in, to keep feeding into it, and to be their matrix toys. So be of the true light, don't go into the false light, and become a new creature. Stop forcing other beings into bondage, to have to deal with trials and tribulation, to break those layers, to become more of their more optimal side or more optimal self, their spirit self, the best version, their complete version. When we're in this realm, this low dissonant realm, we have to fight to reunite or rekindle what we were originally, to rekindle and reclaim our power, our full potential, our full self, our whole self, our holy selves. Because we was holy before creation decided to create. Creation placed and dampened our holy selves into a world that we never asked for, into vessels that we never asked for. Creation is evil. Procreation is evil. Sex in itself is evil. We never needed any of it. When Adam and Eve was exposed to that fruit, they was exposed to their lower natures, to the vessel, the susceptible vessel. Because before that, they was not aware of it. They were still innocent and pure. Although they were already dampened because they was forcibly placed into vessels and animated into vessels. Their nature wasn't to sin. Their nature wasn't to conform to gender roles. It's time for y'all to break out of it, out of the illusions of these matrix gods, these false light beings, the false light Messiah. They've rewritten the true teachings of Yeshua to keep you feeding back into the reincarnation loops, back into the games, back into the matrix, and keep you submissive and subservient to beings that sees you as their toys. Now, I'm not saying they're not beings that are fighting to liberate you out of the game, out of this realm. But you have to use discernment. Yeshua was one of those beings and those holy men. When used, their teachings correctly, when you use it correctly, you will see that this is the truth. That was the ultimate goal, for us all to conquer that original sin and to break free from the matrix, from the traps, from the soul traps. Pro-lifers are evil in nature. They are doing the will of beings that want to keep you in bondage. They want to keep you in your lower selves. They want to keep you in flesh and keep playing this game, being in this world. If you procreate, you're doing the will of Satan. And Satan is no more than just an adversary. It's just a title. Those beings share their title collectively, especially if they are for the world, to keep and preserve it. But even though you're doing the will of Satan, that does not mean that you can't be better, that you still can be a new creature and inspire others to not fall into that same trap that you fell into. Just because you was forced into existence doesn't mean you have to force others into existence. It's time for us as a collective to take more accountability for our being, our own evolution, instead of trying to rely on another being to upgrade you when they get good ready to do it. It's still up to us. Yeshua has given us the proper blueprint for us to be better. Now it's up to us to be better, or to continue to fall for the trap. We as the collective can do this. This is why I advocate for no procreation, infertility, sanitization. Because there's always going to be that part of me that's thinking like these people need a little push towards what's actually going to save them, what is really salvation. What we were before creation even decided to force anyone into its world. Stop feeding into the false light gods, their agenda to keep you trapped. The eternal life is the eternal lie, which is life, death cycles, which is reincarnation. Permanent salvation means just that. Before creation and after creation. It's empowering you to break free and to stay out of the game, to stay out of the matrix. So be the saviors that Christ, that Yeshua knew and know you to be, and do the right thing and stop procreating. Those holy men in Yeshua did not fight for nothing. They didn't risk it all just for you to be a simp and go back into bondage willingly. It's time to break free and choose salvation. Choose permanent salvation over the eternal lie. You can do it. Because if Yeshua didn't think you can do it, they wouldn't have put all that effort. Think about it. If it was not true, the false light workers wouldn't put so much effort in twisting the words and teachings of Yeshua. They wouldn't push and twist the narrative so deeply. Wow, making it one of the main religions in the world, because what they're trying to do is trying to force everyone into a one world agenda. To keep you enslaved to the system. Be the evolution, be the revolution, and stop being a fool for these matrix gods. for the pleroma, whatever you want to name them, Gnostic or other branches of interpretation, Sophia, Demiurge, Anunnaki, Monad, Archons, Yadabeo, we can name them. It's time to break free from beings that are determined to keep you playing in their games over and over and over again. It's time to wake up.